America could be the greatest country in the world. America could be the greatest country in the world. Free healthcare, free college. We have the money for that, right? We could end homelessness. We could end all these wars and stop bombing all these poor countries. We could be what the America ideal, the ideal of America is, right? That we just spread democracy and freedom and truth and all that shit. But we don't. We spread war. We spread neoliberal, globalist, corporate, awful policies. We destroy the environment. And we could be leading the world in saving the planet from climate collapse. We should be leading the world in innovation. We should be. What do we lead the world in? When people say America's the greatest country, in what? Name one category. Name a good category we're number one. We're not number one in education. We're not. We're not number one in peace. We're number one in handgun deaths. We're number one in, we have an opioid crisis. I mean, the only countries that are worse in these categories are like developing or third world countries. Of industrialized nations, we're not even close. Or we're the worst. I mean, the only things we're good in are like infant mortality rates. We have the highest infant mortality rate of industrialized nations. 68,000 people die every year because they don't have health care in this country. We have 1,000 cities with contaminated water like Flint, Michigan, which is still contaminated 6 years later. $38,000 handgun deaths a year. There's a shooting in Los Angeles on a freeway. A young guy, legal gun owner, no criminal record, no history of it, no gangs, nothing. Bought a gun legally. He's on his social media. I'm a Second Amendment guy. Him at the shooting range, road rage incident, and just shot into a car and killed like a 7-year-old boy. Tell me how that could have been prevented. So what do we have to do now? The kid should have had a bulletproof vest. Is that what we're going to travel with? If the mom was a gun owner, should she have shot the other guy before he could have shot her son? Is that what we're going to just shoot outs on the freeway? Tell me, Second Amendment people, please explain this to me. Because there's really the only solution, that the only thing that would have prevented that is had this guy not been able to buy a gun. He bought it legally. They did a background check. He had no criminal record. He had no mental illness. But he just got mad on the freeway and shot and killed a child. So America, we could be the best country in the world. Instead, we're collapsing in real time. We have armed militias. We have armed white nationalists. Nazis. We would call them guerrillas in any other country. You'd say, oh, there's armed guerrillas. When the news reports on it, there's armed guerrillas in this third world country or that third world country. But in America, they're militias. We're number one in obesity. We have religious fanatics in this country. The evangelicals I'm speaking of. We bomb the world. We could be this amazing country that the whole world looks to, and we could make the whole world better. We could lift all these countries out of poverty. Instead, we sanction them and we create poverty. Sanctioning is an act of warfare, which really only punishes the citizens. We're bombing. We drop more bombs than anybody. We have more military bases than anybody. We're the number one. The U.S. military is the number one polluter in the world. Tell me where America is so great. We could be amazing. We could be all like, the whole world would go, wow, America, you guys are the best. You stopped all the wars. You brought peace to all these countries. No, we bring war and death and destruction to all these countries. We're not a representative democracy. We are a kleptocracy run by oligarchs. Look those words up. So don't tell me how great America is when we let a handful of billionaires control it. Both parties are bullshit. If you think your party's better than the other party in this country, it's a joke. We have one party in this country, the corporate party. And the corporate party has a little Republican wing and a little Democratic wing. Neither party gives a shit about the American people. They don't care about working class people at all. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about anybody except their 1% greedy bullshit. The billionaires don't care about you. The Republicans don't care about you. The Democrats don't care about you. Fox News doesn't care about you. MSNBC doesn't care about you. CNN doesn't care about you. Wake up. We're not the greatest country in the world. Really? We're the greatest country let its citizens have contaminated water? Would the greatest country in the world allow people to live on the streets, to wait in line for hours at a food bank because its country didn't take care of them during a global once-in-a-century pandemic? Is that what great looks like? That's not what great looks like to me. You need to demand something. And those of you that voted for Biden, great. Demand. Don't cut him slack. Don't cut him slack. You should demand more out of the politicians you voted for. You should demand that AOC and the squad give you Medicare for all. Demand it or fire them. Fire Nancy Pelosi. You live in a red state? You should demand everyone should have Medicare for all in this country. Don't listen to these liars on TV who are paid to lie to you. When you watch Tucker Carlson or Sean Hannity or Rachel Maddow or Joyanne Reid, and then they say why we shouldn't have healthcare, and then they cut to a commercial from a big pharmaceutical company, that's who's paying them. Why are we in all these wars? Why are we cutting art programs in schools? You know, in Europe, they pay artists really well because they want a full rounded society. What kind of a society does that? We have the highest prison population. That's another area we're number one in. We have the most amount of billionaires. That's disgusting. People made record profits during a pandemic. People were dying. Businesses were getting wiped out. People were waiting in line for food, but the billionaires made out okay. That's what America's great for. I'm 51 goddamn years old. In the last 20 years, America has not gotten better. It has gotten worse. And if you think it's gotten better, you're either a billionaire or in denial. So wake up to this fact. It is not better. America could be amazing, but it isn't. It needs to stand up and recognize all of its crimes. It needs to recognize the genocide and the slavery of Native Americans and African Americans. It needs to recognize all that. It needs to recognize we have a racism, systemic racism in this country. We have racist, systemic problems with our police departments. If you're a cop, stop defending cops. Go, it's wrong. We need to do something about it. Unarmed black men getting shot is a horrible thing. You shouldn't be, that. And you're not getting to the financial issue of that. Because here's the other thing. You're scared of crime, and that's why you want more cops and more guns. If everybody had a job and health care and good education, how much crime would we have? How much crime would we have? So you want to live in denial that America's great? Fine. Start talking to some people from some other countries. They're going to tell you this country is nuts. America has literally gone insane. And when you're living in an insane asylum, you don't realize it. It's really adult. It's living in an alcoholic home. You grew up in an alcoholic home. All this crazy shit happens. Abuse, lies, gaslighting. And you think it's normal because that's all you know. People blame you for shit that's there. No one takes responsibility. It's always somebody else's fault in America. And when you speak up, you're yelled at. I take shit for speaking the truth on this show. I call out the lies of the Democratic Party and I'm in, oh, you must be a Trump supporter. No, I don't like Trump at all. The diehard Trump people are in a cult. The diehard Democratic people, you're in a cult. You refuse to acknowledge how awful Obama and Biden and the Clintons are. You're in a cult. You're just as crazy as the Trumper who says he never lies. You've all been lied to. So wake up. QAnon is a psyop. America is gone insane. The CIA is unchecked, unregulated. They get as much money as they ever want. We bomb and shoot and surveil our own citizens. We're not a free society. You think because you can go to the mall and make a TikTok and buy Starbucks, you think you're free? Okay. Good luck, man. Let me know how that shakes out. Let me know how that shakes out. And I used to believe a bunch of nonsense. I used to believe all this crap. So don't feel bad. Just wake up. And admitting fault is a position of strength. People who never admit they're wrong, They're weak. They're scared. They're living in fear because they, oh, if I admit I'm wrong, I look bad. Saying I screwed up. I was wrong. I was wrong and I want to change this. That's a position of strength. Did you know that? I'm never wrong. I'm never wrong. You sound like a 5-year-old. We got to admit it. We got to admit all of our awful crap. We have to admit it. We have to admit it. Men, we got to own all the awful shit that men do. Women don't feel safe around us, and I don't blame them. Have you ever said, hey, I got to walk this woman home because she might get jumped by a bunch of women? Have you ever said that? No, you've never said that. White people got to own all the racist shit that we're a part of, all our white privilege. We got to own it. We got to own it. Americans, you got to own all your privilege. You got to own your, even, I don't care what your ethnicity is. If you live in America, you do have some white, you have not white, but you have American privilege because there's no bombs dropped here. We bomb the shit out of countries. 85,000 dead kids in Yemen, 85,000 dead kids in Yemen. That's us. That's our tax dollars helped that happen. We got to own it. This whole country is stolen land. We got to own it. You got to admit you got a problem. That's how, if you're an alcoholic or drug addict, that's how you got to, the first step is you got to admit you're an alcoholic. The first thing you got to say is, I'm an alcoholic. It's the first thing you got to do. No, the bartender gave me drinks and it's not that drunk of a problem. I only drink after work. It's good. It's good wine. It's really expensive wine. I'm not an alcoholic. It's all bullshit excuses. America's a nation of addicts and adult children of alcoholics. Everyone in this country is either an addict or in denial about the addicts that are in their lives and make excuses for the addicts. Like, share, subscribe, or write some bullshit in the comment section because you hate hearing this, you know. Watch Rachel Maddow and go back to brunch. Watch Sean Hannity, go back to brunch. There you go. Just swallow the Kool-Aid that gives you a one-sided view of things and won't show you the whole picture. That's cool. Go for it. Thanks for watching. In the greatest country in the world, the United Corporate War Machine of American Oligarchs. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, where you can support the show. Also, I have a Bitcoin wallet, a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and an Ethereum wallet in the show notes. We're taking cryptocurrency. I have a Coinbase affiliation link. We're going to be getting on some other exchanges. So that's how you support the show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. YouTube is unsubscribing us at an alarming rate. I have a PayPal button at GrahamElwood.com. I even have a Venmo at Graham-Elwood. There's a lot of ways to support our show. We are getting crushed by YouTube. We've dipped under 73,000 subscribers because of YouTube. Thanks for supporting what we do.